Hey guys, just got back from an unexpected trip that I took down south we started in Detroit, went to Indianapolis, and then ended up in Memphis, all through Oklahoma, and then down to Dallas, outside of Dallas. It was a pretty cool trip. A lot of memories. When I was a kid, I used to travel with my dad, and we used to. The South was really funky back then. It was very strange. Weird motels and roadside attractions. And I remember, I think they still have it, but you can look for diamonds and dinosaur bones, and I mean, it's just pretty wacky. And Dog Patch, there's a place called Dog Patch, USA. We used to go to Branson, Missouri, when I was a kid, and I mean, just swimming holes and camping, and I just eating grits. It was fond memories. So had this sentimental journey. I just want to post a video about what I'm working on and stuff that I'm just gonna be posting in a couple days. One of them is about my first instrument, actually, how I got into rock and roll, how I got into music, how I got into recording, and it all starts with this baby right here, this King Cleveland 605. That's what it is. It's pretty beat up. I mean, it's from the early '70s. I started playing when I was just a kid. I didn't want to play the instrument my brother was playing. He was playing trumpet, and I thought, I got to have a cooler instrument than that. I got to play a bigger instrument, more brass. Okay. And I don't know. This thing seems to go with my personality. I love baritone. I like bass. I like that lower tones. That's kind of what I love. Yeah, it's kind of amazing to still have this instrument after all these years. I used to play it in my rock bands, bring it out for a funk part or a jazz part or whatever. But it was more of a gimmick than anything. It's kind of hard to have a brass section with one instrument, right? But anyway, so it was a really cool trip. It was awesome. I had fun. I stopped by my favorite place in Memphis, which is Sun Records, or otherwise known as the Memphis Recording Service, started by Sam Phillips. And I was lucky enough years ago to work with Sam Phillips, the guy who started Sun Records, with his goal of recording the sounds of the South. Not a lot of people were doing that stuff. I mean, it was all pretty obviously segregated back then, but his thing was listen, the music should be heard by everybody. And in the beginning, he was mostly recording black artists. So people like Howlin' Wolf walked through the door, B.B. King walked through the door, Ike Turner walked through the door. I think Rocket 88 was recorded there. I mean, this is just already a temple to rock and roll or R&B, whatever you want to call it. But then eventually, of course, the story goes, I think a 17-year-old young man walked in to record a record for his mama. And Sam actually didn't think it was that big of a deal. He just recorded it and he got paid, and that was it. But his secretary ended up taking note of him and said, hey, that boy, I think he's got something. Thank God for Marion Keisker. She ended up, I think she ended up actually finding Elvis in the end, but I'm sure Elvis would have found his way. But not only Elvis, but my God, who else walked through the door? Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis and Johnny Cash, and it goes on and on and on. There's so many people that recorded their first recordings. It's kind of a magical place, and it still does tours, and everything is essentially the same as it was, which is kind of amazing. It's kind of a fluke that the acoustic tiles are never taken down, the linoleum floors are the same. I mean, it's kind of one of my favorite places. RCA Studio B is pretty amazing in Nashville. If you ever get a chance to see that stuff, and of course Abbey Road. in London. That Studio 2 is still pretty preserved from when the Beatles and Pink Floyd. But anyway, it was about my journey. So yeah, I want to do a couple videos about the trip, about stuff that got me excited about getting into music, becoming a musician, and then becoming an engineer, and then this crazy journey I took. And obviously life is a journey, and the name of this thing is called Everything is Everything. I had no idea I was going to be taking a trip and going to standing in front of Sun Records. Like 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have known I was going to be doing that. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's so weird how things happen. And I say, invite that stuff into your life and just accept it. Like when somebody says, hey, you want to go check out that thing? It's harmless, go do it, because it's probably something that's going to make your life better. Anyway, I'm going on about this stuff, and I'll make another video about Memphis and all the cool things you can see there, and stuff that I saw. And I definitely want to tell you about meeting Sam Phillips. Years ago, I met him and his wife, Becky. Talked to Sam, got to ask him questions about recording, and what was it like? What was it like, recording somebody like Johnny Cash, and what was your technique and how you did that, and over the years, working with different artists myself, it was like able to say, like, let's let this flow a little bit. Let's try to get the muse walking in the door and help us out here on this recording session, and I think that's what Sam was all about, But there's going to be a video about it in a couple weeks from now. But anyway, a video about the playing in a big band. Jazz band that was pretty awesome. I'll tell you about that stuff, and also you guys really liked my Bastard Stratocaster video. This little beast here too is actually worth talking about too. This was the $90 cheap guitar I got when Sam Goody was going out of business, and actually one of the viewers commented, he called it the Stratobastard. So I have to thank the Wanderer for for posting that or commenting on that. I thought that was pretty awesome. I think you win the prize. But the story about this little piece of shit is actually worth telling, because the tuners were crap. Nothing stayed in tune. Hard to play. Every time you use a whammy bar, it went out of tune. So I'll show a video of like what I did to it, how I modified it, and how I made it sound good. It's still got the original, like, $90 pickups in it. But in some ways it can be kind of cool. I don't know. If you want that surf sound, but again, you'll have to watch the video.